Hi, I'm Kath Leffley from Altrincham Physiotherapy, and today I just want to take you through our 8th session of our Healthy Back series. So today we're going to talk about control and function around the spine and increasing that strength in the muscles around the spine. So we've already discussed our corset that comes all the way around from our tummy all the way into our back, and the exercises we're doing today are going to work on increasing that strength and control, building on the exercises we did in the 3rd video. So today as well, I'm going to introduce some work with a high resistance band. So you can do the exercises without if you don't have one, but if you do have one, keep it handy, and we're going to introduce those as we go through our exercises. So we're going to start with our folded towel, and we're going to lie down on our back on the mat. So starting with our start position, feet and knees hip width apart, finding that start position with our lumbar spine, gently flattening the back, arching the back and finding that midpoint between the two, and then finding those deep tummy muscles, finding those hip bones in a bit and down a bit, and switching those on, either using that analogy of the low slung belt or the pelvic floor. So we're going to start off today with our one leg stretch, and just remember that we're going to keep our ribs down and that lovely connection with those springs between the ribs and the pelvis. So we're going to start off taking our right leg, straightening it out along the floor. So breath in to prepare. Slide that right leg away into our one leg stretch and then fold back in. And then push away with the left and fold back in. So we're switching those tummy muscles on, pushing away on our out breath, coming back on the in breath. Thinking about keeping those ribs down, that lovely connection through the tummy to the pelvis. And as we straighten that leg out, you feel those glute muscles starting to fire up and those quadriceps muscles in the front of the thigh. Good. So I'll do one more, and then we're going to move on to our scissors. So we've done the scissors before, and this is our scissors level 1, where we bring our right leg into that tabletop position, 90-degree angle at the hip and the knee, and place that back down, and then bring that left leg into that scissor position and then back down. So this is our level 1 scissors. Okay, so we're moving into our level 2 scissors. We can make that a little bit easier by introducing our band. So if I put the band around my left foot, I'm placing that nice and flat over my foot if possible, and then I've got my elbows rested on the mat. So in introducing our level 2 scissors, you can come onto the toe of that right leg and come into that double tabletop position and back down. So as I said, you can do this without the band if you don't have a band, but it is a lovely introduction to scissors. Lovely. So you want to think about keeping those ribs down, not letting the back arch off the mat as well. Okay. So from there, we can progress our one leg stretch. So I've got my left leg in the band, nice and flat around my foot, and you can push away into your one leg stretch and fold back in. So you push away and fold back in. Nice. So as you're pushing away, you're thinking about extending that knee, keeping it lovely and controlled through to the end range, not letting the knee snap into that end range extension position, and really working those quadriceps in the front of the thigh there. It's a great knee strengthener as well as strengthening the core. So I'm going to progress that on to increasing the glutes component of the exercise. So we push away, bring the heel down towards the floor, and then back and fold back in. So you're pushing away, heel to the floor, and then fold back in. So remember to keep that control through to the end range knee extension. As you take the heel down to the floor, those glutes start to work, and then you're folding back in. Good. Let's do one more, and then I'm going to swap the feet over. So pop the other foot in the band, nice and flat around the foot if you can, and into that tabletop position. So we started with our scissors, bringing that left leg into tabletop and back down. Good. Let's do two more. Place that left foot down. Remember those ribs are just gently flattening down onto the mat at the back as you push away into your one leg stretch and fold back in. Looking for those 90-degree angles at the hip and the knee as you come back. That lovely knee extension as you push that foot away in the band. So keeping that nice and controlled through that range of movement. Good. So let's introduce now that glutes component, pushing away. Bring that heel down towards the floor, back, fold back in. So you can really start to feel those glutes now, those bottom muscles working, as well as keeping that lovely control through the pelvis, tummy muscles working, and keeping those ribs down. So let's do two more of those, pushing away and back, and push away and back. Lovely. Okay, so then we're going to come into our double leg stretch. So we're introducing the arms. So bring the arms up to 90 degrees above your head. We'll start off with that arms overhead. So you bring the arms overhead, keeping those ribs down, and that circle round back to 90 degrees above your head. So arms overhead and then back round. So we're coming up on the out breath and then back round on the in. Let's add in the legs now. So you're pushing away with our right leg along the floor, arms overhead, come back round, bring that leg back and then swap over onto the other side. Good. So this is a lovely lengthener through the whole of the front of the body. You're also working the quadriceps at the front of the thigh. You're working the glutes as you extend that leg away. And then you've got that length through the trunk, keeping the back nice and still, not letting the back arch off the mat. Good. Let's do one more. We'll bring our arms down by our side. And we'll come into our next level, which is into our double tabletop. So taking the right leg to tabletop, keep those ribs down. You can come onto the toe to take the left leg to tabletop. Those 90-degree angles at the hip and the knee. You bring your arms up to 90 degrees. And with this one, I like to take the foot down to the floor, slide away along the floor, arms overhead, come back and lift that leg back up. And then the left, push away and back. Good. So this one is adding a little bit more work to the middle of the body. You've really got to think about those ribs staying down. We're extending the levers away on both sides of the body. So it's the out breath as you bring the arms away and you bring the leg away. In breath as you come back. Let's do one more each side. Lovely. And then back down. Bring those arms back down. So our final exercise in this position is our abdo prep. And with our abdo prep, you can pop your hands behind your head. You've got that imaginary peach underneath your chin that you don't want to squash or drop. And we're keeping the head in that uniform position through the movement. Useful as well to think about the ribs. And as you're coming into your abdo prep, you're letting the ribs fold forward as you're lifting the head and shoulders off the mat. So both hands behind the head, supporting the head, keeping the elbows out to the side. And then we're just breath in to prepare. And then coming up and back down. So up on the out breath and back down on the in. So thinking about folding forward from the ribs. This one works the upper abdominals as well as the lower abdominals. Remember to keep zipped in. Good. 3 more. And then really nice, just stretching out the whole of the front of the body before we come over into our prone lying position on our tummies. So let's turn over. You might want to fold the towel up a little bit to rest your forehead on the towel without squashing your nose. And we're going to do our swimming arms and legs. So we've got our hands just extended in front of our heads there, and the legs extended out behind. We're going to switch those tummy muscles on and tuck the tailbone under. So starting with the arms with our level 1, I like to take the shoulders back and down and looking for some space between the ears and the shoulders, lifting the elbows slightly. The tummy muscles are switched on and we're doing our alternate hand lift from the floor, working those muscles at the back of the shoulder. Lifting up on the out breath and back on the in. Good. I'm going to do one more each side. Then resting those arms down, I'm going to come into my swimming legs. Again, just reminding myself that I need to tuck the tailbone under, switch those tummy muscles on. And with our swimming legs, we're looking for some length. So you lift the right leg from the hip, and then back down, and then the opposite side. So it's a lift and a lengthen, making sure that there's no arching of the back. If this is an uncomfortable position, then it can be a very useful tip just to pop the towel or a pillow underneath your tummy, and that can help. So you don't want to be in pain with this exercise, but a lovely exercise. Good. Okay, so we're going to add the both together. So bringing those shoulders back and down, ensuring that space between the neck, between the ears and the shoulders. Tuck the tailbone under, and then let's go opposite. Right arm, left leg, and then left arm, right leg. Ensuring there's a little bit of length as you're pushing away with the leg, keeping those tummy muscles working. We don't want to have any arch at the low back. Good. Do one more each side. Lovely. Okay, so then we're going to finish off in our 4-point kneeling position. Coming onto our hands and knees. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. And we're just finding that start position with the shoulders. Switching those tummy muscles on. And then our final exercise is going to be our swimming level 4, just the legs. So you're just going to slide. I'll start with my left leg. Slide that left leg out. Keeping the pelvis lovely and still. We're just going to lift and back down. So we don't want to have any twisting at the pelvis. We don't want any arching of the low back. Just really feeling that those glutes are strengthening and those tummy muscles are supporting our core. Good. One more. Slide that back in. Find that shoulder start position again. Switch those tummy muscles on. Take that opposite leg out behind and lift and lower. Good. Keeping the back nice and still. Keeping that head position in a nice position and that length through the neck. Good. One last one and then fold back in. And then we're going to arch the back, drop back onto those heels, reach forward into that child's pose stretch. Take the stretch off the back in the opposite direction. Just really enjoy that stretch. And that's us done. So, a little top tip for today's video. So if you do need to be lifting, however light, remember that corset around your centre. Remember those ribs that are staying down and those springs between the ribs and the pelvis, and keep those strong. So whenever you're bending or lifting, keep those active and that will protect your back. Hope you've enjoyed that video and we'll see you next time.